In every Power Rangers team, there is a leader, there's a tech bro, there's comedic relief, and there's 2 girls. But there's always one Ranger who stands out, a hero that arrives just in time to shift up the whole balance of the show, and that is the 6th Ranger. From their mysterious origins as a villain, anti-hero, or just straight nobody to their game-changing powers, the 6th Ranger is more than just an extra teammate. They symbolize growth, strength, and transformation within any Power Rangers team. And throughout the 30 years, each one of them has challenged the team dynamic, and their impact resonates with the fans across generations. So I asked you guys on Twitter, out of all the 6 Rangers in history, which one is your favorite one? There are so many different answers because there's so many different 6 Rangers throughout history. So I think it's time to tell their stories. Starting off, first of all, we of course have Tommy Oliver. He was the blueprint, the first and probably most iconic 6 Ranger. Initially in the 5-part story Green with Evil, they had introduced him as the evil Green Ranger, who was controlled by a mind spell from the scary Rita Repulsa. But at the end of the arc, Tommy would later join the team as a powerful ally. He was different from the rest of the team. He had a gold diamond shield, which would sometimes be fluffy.
Oh no, guys, this is terrible.
He would also have a dragon dagger, a sleek weapon that could be played as a flute to call upon the Dragon Zord, his own personal Zord that is sentient. No cockpit necessary. The Green Ranger was a force to be reckoned with and could easily match a team of Rangers as well as many villains in the future. However, his reign wouldn't last forever, as in Season 2, his power would diminish and later be gone completely thanks to the Green Candle, which was the core to his power. But the real reason for those who don't know and are curious is because in the original Super Sentai Jew Ranger, the Green Ranger died. And we couldn't have that happen in Power Rangers, not yet. So in that case, they simply just ran out of footage to use, and there's only so much that foam shield could take, if only. Tommy would eventually be reintroduced into the series as the White Ranger.
Guess who's back?
Now assuming the role as the team leader. Tommy looked different from the rest of the Rangers aesthetically, but still kept a somewhat gold shield and similar suit patterns that was just enough to look like he somewhat belonged on the team.
Yeah, it works! Alright! Woohoo!
The White Ranger came from another Super Sentai series, Die Ranger, but I think he fit just enough to look somewhat alike. Some additions was his new sword companion Saba that could actually speak, as well as pilot his new Zord, the White Tiger Zord, that could transform into its own warrior mode. Throughout the rest of the show, he's more of a leader of the group, bringing the Rangers through a ninja quest, where he would gain a new Falcon Zord, and later co-pilot the White Shogun Zord. But as the franchise shifted over to Zeo, Tommy would become the true leader as the Red Zeo Ranger, and there was now a 6th Ranger spot that would eventually have to be filled in. I of course got to show this drawing that I saw in the comments. It was literally so cute. What's the Green Samurai Ranger doing there? I don't know, but it's really cute, the drawing. Zeo Gold, but also the original Red Ranger, Jason Lee Scott, would return to the team as the Gold Ranger. After originally leaving to attend a peace conference 2 years earlier, his Gold Ranger would become a fresh wave of strength and experience to the Zeo team. Jason's return is also a significant moment in the franchise, solidifying his status as a fan-favorite Ranger. The Gold Ranger was originally held by Trey of Triforia, the personalities of Courage, Wisdom, and Heart, but had later transferred to Jason as they revealed that they cannot hold their unity for long. Jason would get a new golden shield similar to Tommy's Green and White Ranger forms, and would get his own exclusive Gold Ranger Power Staff, along with the Zord Pyramidus, a huge pyramid that was essential into making the first Zeo Ultra Zord. The Zeo Gold Ranger brought a sense of grandeur and cosmic power into the Power Rangers universe. First starting off as an addition from another planet, bringing Jason's role as the Gold Ranger highlighted and started an enduring legacy of past Rangers coming back. The idea that being a Power Ranger was a lifelong responsibility, and how the power will always continue. Now the season that followed Zeo, that being Turbo, didn't really have a 6th Ranger representation. It was more of an extra Ranger. There was the Phantom Ranger and the Blue Centurion, but none of them fit into the 6th Ranger, ideals. So with the new Rangers to the rescue going to space, there had to be a new 6th Ranger at some point. And that's when we met Zane, the Silver In Space Ranger, the first 6th Ranger to be a mad chill guy. Zane was Andros' best friend and teammate back in their home galaxy, but would become severely injured in battle and have to be put into cryogenic sleep. Years later, he was revived, coming to the aid of the Space Rangers during a dire moment. His revival and introduction alongside the strong connection with Andros brought renewed hope to the team. That suit was top tier. Burl also had a Super Silverizer. Love that name, Super Silverizer. Also, nothing sounds more 90s than a Mega Winger, huh? Overall, his presence brought mystery and excitement, and his symbol of resilience and determination with his home planet and now Earth, alongside his personality alone, made him a fan favorite Sixth Ranger. Now this next one is interesting because this hero was not considered a Sixth Ranger hero in the Super Sentai series, but it is in Power Rangers. And that is the Magna Defender from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. His origin is nothing but fire, as he was seeking some revenge and vengeance for his son's death as well as his home planet, which by the way, his son is a mini Magna Defender. Oh, how cute is that? However, he would sacrifice his life to save the space station Terra Venture, and his powers are passed on to Mike Corbett, who was dead, by the way, bringing him back to life and giving him the power as the second Magna Defender. His weapon is the Magna Sword, a sixth sword by all means, but not as cool as the Quasar Saber. He also had a Toro Zord, which can also have its own warrior mode. So if we're being real though, Magna Defender, best origin and best suit. Moving on. Ryan Mitchell's Titanium Ranger is revolutionary, not just as a Sixth Ranger, but in the Power Rangers franchise, being the first Sixth Ranger in the franchise to be entirely original to the Power Rangers series, not adapted from their Super Sentai counterpart, which didn't have one. The suit fit right in line with the rest of the team, but that origin story be dark though. He was kidnapped as a child and raised by the demon Diabolico. But of course, he would betray Diabolico and join the Rangers in part of the team, later being sent to the desert to find a way to stop the evil, which sadly meant we didn't see the Titanium Ranger much in the show.
You're in for a big disappointment.
It's sad, it's a shame, because for those first few episodes, Titanium Ranger was looking so cool, teaming up with the rest of the Rangers, and then oh, he was sent to the desert for most of the show. But it did show Ryan's arc as one as redemption and reconciliation with his father and the Rangers, and albeit underused, he was grounded in his own unique storytelling. He would also rock the Max Solar Zord, which was of course already the Super Sentai and was formatted to become the Titanium Ranger Zord. But he also did have the original weapon, a titanium laser, which is, get this, an axe mixed with a blaster. Kind of goated. Kind of the best. The Time Force Quantum Ranger. Eric was a rival to the Red Ranger West and came into the possession of the Quantum Morpher, giving him the powers of the Quantum Ranger. A former soldier and the leader of the Silver Guardians, Eric is a lone wolf. His complex relationship with the Time Force Rangers and his fierce independence makes him a standout character. He would represent the struggle for independence, power, recognition, really diverging from the traditional Ranger archetype of teamwork. His story also had roots in class dynamics and personal ambition within, making him not just a fan favorite, but makes Eric one of the most memorable and layered Sixth Rangers. And I gotta add this other photo from Not Dex, because look, it's the Quantum Ranger in battle. How cute is that? Also, you know, Quantum Ranger came back for Forever Red, the team of all the Red Rangers, even though he's not a Red Ranger, so he's already goated that way too. Lunar Wolf. Merrick is an OG, a dude from a good 3,000 years ago, being a warrior from the ancient Animarium fighting Master Orc, but was soon to be cursed and controlled by the evil Zenaku, a wolf-based orc, a powerful one too, giving the Wild Force Rangers a run for their money as they had stolen some of their Zords. Slowly but surely though, Merrick would soon come out, and Zenaku would appear more human, making the princess take notice and see who was really behind that orc. And after the curse was lifted, Merrick would join the Wild Force Rangers as the Lunar Wolf Ranger, but his guilt over past actions kept him from fully integrating into the team, especially when Zenaku got revived. As the Lunar Wolf Ranger, he embodied the power of the moon, and his solitary nature differentiated himself from other Six Rangers. Kinda made him more similar to Eric in some ways. Merrick's arc was more about atonement, with the Lunar Q and Predazord. Merrick embodied themes of redemption, solitude, and more resilience, being a tragic yet heroic figure. His quiet strength and dedication to atoning for his past made him a memorable and compelling addition to the team, aligning with the Wild Force themes of balance and harmony. Side story to this, as a kid in elementary school, there was a point of the school year where the teacher would have us pick through a box of toys and we would get one free toy for having good grades, and I picked a tall, kind of like a Barbie doll size figure of the Lunar Ranger, and I just thought that was cool to tell. I wonder where that is. Ninja Storm Green. Cam is an interesting ranger for Sixth Ranger history. He was shown at the beginning of the series, originally being the team's tech expert and, you know, the son of the Wind Ninja Academy sensei. You know, the guinea pig. He would be in the lab helping the Rangers get new weapons, swords, and power discs. However, he would have an adventure of his own after traveling to the past to retrieve a mystical samurai amulet from his mother in the past. After a battle with his dad's twin brother, he became the Green Samurai Ranger, embracing the family's legacy. Cam's story of overcoming personal doubt and embracing his heritage resonated well with fans everywhere. As a character who initially stayed behind the scenes, his transformation to a green samurai ranger was both symbolic and empowering, showing that intellect and technology can be just as heroic as combat prowess. He'd also have a secondary mode, not normal for 6 Rangers, it was the first, called Super Samurai Mode, which removes the shield and flips the helmet for a fun alternate mode, as well as having his own helicopter, literally, that becomes the Samurai Star Megazord. You know, I think the one with brains truly has fun. Also, gotta highlight this tweet from Suleta Sakura, who said, "Bro's the first hero death I ever experienced." Japan only, by the way. That would have been sad if Cam died. I got Cyber Cam. Who could forget Cyber Cam? There was a cool version of Cam. That was a little bit too 2000s.
I got tired of the same old rag, so I busted out the fat gear.
Next up, we got Dino Thunder White. Trent was also introduced early on in the show, showed up episode 3 of the series. We would learn that he was adopted by Anton Mercer, and see how he would accidentally bond with a Dino Gem, making him the evil White Dino Ranger, being a true threat to the 3 new Dino Rangers, and could even handle himself against a veteran like Tommy Oliver, previous 6 Ranger and current Black Ranger of the team. Trent brought back the evil Ranger tradition big time in this show. Initially controlled by the Gem's dark influence, he would use his powerful weapons like the Drago Sword. Trent, of course, would eventually join the team as a force of good, but would also have to fight an evil clone version that would continue his evil processes. Trent's duality as both a villain and later hero gave him a unique arc that many 6 Rangers share, more specifically, Tommy Oliver. His journey of overcoming inner darkness and ultimately choosing the side of the good reflected the core theme of redemption, even better than Titanium Rangers on a bigger scale. Trent's design of the suit and character made him a fan favorite, especially when you see him unleash a Super Dino mode. Those spikes, man, ooh! Give me 14 million of those. And also seeing his complex relationship with his adoptive father, aka the villain of the series, brought some even bigger emotional weight to the series, giving Trent's character a whole entirely new level. And with that, you know, when we got Tommy, Eric, and Trent, the 6 Ranger trifecta of gold. Comment question of the day: what is your favorite 6 Ranger of all time? Mine would have to be Trent from Dino Thunder, because bro is just the GOAT. Look at his suit. Leave a comment down below and leave a like to lock in your answer. 2,000 likes and I'll do more videos just like this one. Subscribe and ring the notification bell to join the E-Squad today, the best Power Ranger fan base in the whole wide world. Now, I love Power Rangers SPD, you guys know that, but the Omega Ranger, I gotta admit, was weird. We would first meet a child named Sam, who had his own little 2-part of episodes 7 and 8, and was shown to have magical powers to teleport objects. The truth was, his parents helped the other SPD Rangers' parents with Cat to make the SPD morphers, and the side effect of their kids having powers was in full effect, also going on to Sam, who was the youngest. He would be accepted by the team and join the SPD Academy, but here's where things get weird. Apparently in the future, that is 2040, he becomes the Omega Ranger and travels back in time to aid the team in their battle against the Trubian Empire, trying to prevent a battle they were about to lose. He would stay to help the team, but he could not demorph into human form, instead turning into a magical energy-based ball. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, we never saw him really teleport again, or use his civilian powers, which is weird. He does got that Omega Max cycle though, which is a motorcycle that the Megazord can ride on, also of course his own warrior mode, or combined with the rest of the SPD Zords. The time-traveling hero really emphasized the expansive futuristic narrative of SPD, which was already set in 2025, and while his human form was rarely seen, his past and future connections to the Rangers gave him a distant place in the 6 Ranger legacy, reinforcing themes of destiny as well as time. Next up, we got the Solaris Knight. El Caballero Solaris, as my friend Marcelo says, is cool off the bat, combining gold and some blue, as well as of course having a cape. Man, I love capes, bring in the capes. Daggeron is different from other 6 Rangers. He's an old guy, he's basically Unk, and previously a legendary warrior and former apprentice of Leanbow. You know, the guy who became Korag, the villain of the show. Daggeron's return introduced ancient wisdom and strength into the Rangers, helping them harness their own magical powers. And his arsenal was pretty epic too, like the Solar Streak Megazord, which was a train. I love trains.
I like trains.
And his commitment into protecting the magical realm and training the next generation made him an inspiring figure. As the Solaris Knight, Daggeron taught the Rangers discipline, courage, and the importance of self-control, leaving lasting impact on the team and bringing a sense of ancient heroism and lore to the Power Rangers universe. Overdrive Mercury Ranger. Taizon sad. Taizon is sad. He is sad. Taizon's story is really sad. He's an alien from the planet Mercury, being a former rescue specialist for who he had lost his team in an accident, heading to Earth to get revenge on the ones who caused the accidents, the Fear Cats. On this journey, he would encounter Moltor, who would turn him into a monster, in a similar fashion to Wild Force's Merrick. The curse would be lifted and he would be asked by the Red Ranger Mac to join the team. But using the Mercury morpher and piloting the Flashpoint Megazord, Tyzon's journey of recovery and love for human culture brought a unique emotional depth into the Overdrive team. He also has the power of Mercury. Yeah, a Mercury force field. That's cool, I guess, but SPD just did force field powers, so I guess not as cool. His resilience and newfound purpose endeared him to fans and demonstrated growth after hardship. And by the end of the series, you can tell that as the Mercury Ranger, he symbolized overcoming personal trauma to fight for a greater cause. Skipping Jungle Fury, there was no Sixth Ranger there. I guess Wolf Ranger doesn't count. This guy is not a Sixth Ranger. Or the Rhino Ranger. Is he on this shirt? I gotta keep pulling the shirt up. There he is. No Sixth Ranger. RPM, Gold, and Silver. Siblings and brilliant inventors. Gem and Gemma bring energy and enthusiasm to the dark and serious apocalyptic RPM team as the Gold and Silver Rangers. Their bond and unorthodox method often clash with the team as they bring the boom!
Gee, you make it sound so easy.
Gem, along with his twin sister Gemma, was part of a secret government project, Alphabet Soup, where they developed Ranger tech to combat the Ventrix virus. I guess as well as the Ventrix virus. Gem and Gemma operate almost as one mind, completing each other's sentences and executing synchronized attacks that capitalize on the twin connection. They got cloud hatches and a sky shift morpher that can of course combine to become a better weapon. They also have the Falcon and Tiger jet swords, which can combine together with a whale zord to create the Mach Megazord.
Why a whale? They don't even fly. It's just the whole thing seems kind of like a stretch.
And as part of the RPM team, Gem and Gemma brought humor and optimism, showing that humor could prevail even in the darkest of times, especially when they die. I think they were the first Six Rangers to die for a second. They came back though, don't worry about it. Samurai Gold, a childhood friend of the Red Ranger, Antonio is a self-trained fisherman who becomes the Gold Ranger.
He's so sparkly.
Though not originally part of the core Samurai clan, Antonio used his own technical skills to develop his own morpher and samurai powers. His technological expertise and innovative spirit bring a unique dynamic to Samurai's team. He also fishes from time to time. I think it's the only ranger in history to ever fish. Please correct me in the comments. Antonio's self-made journey to becoming a ranger highlighted the value of resourcefulness, determination, and friendship. His non-traditional background added a new dynamic to the samurai team, proving that even without direct lineage, anyone could rise up to the occasion and become a hero, even your best friend. His upbeat and tech-savvy personality endeared him to fans, and his strong sense of loyalty to Jaden made him a vital ally. And you know, he had cool stuff like the Barracuda Blade. He would like slice people up real quick, and you know, he had the powers of, what was the squid? Was it the squid sword? The claw zord. Yeah, the claw zord and the claw battle zord. Who remembers that? Chomp chomp. Got some time to share. The sun is everywhere. You agree? Now this next Six Ranger got 0 comments on the thread. No one said this Six Ranger was their favorite. So I want everybody to stop what they're doing and go to the comments right now and talk about this Six Ranger and why he's your favorite, Robo Knight. He is a robotic ranger created centuries ago by Gosei to protect Earth's environment, initially operating independently from the Rangers. Robo Knight eventually learned the value of teamwork and became an important ally, and also got some type of weird relationship with the Red Ranger. Robo Knight is fun though, because he's a morpher. That isn't really a morpher, it's part of him, it's a phone, but he also becomes a Zord, the Lion Zord, eventually becoming the Lion Megazord, combining with the rest of the team become the Gosei Great Grand Megazord. Are you catching up? That's a little confusing. Robo Knight is the claimed protector of the environment, which gives him a unique spin as a robot who loves the planet Earth. But the sad part is when Super Megaforce came along, Robo Knight was gone and would become evil, which brought Troy the Red Ranger to get too emotional. Robo Knight! Bro, hit him with that mustard! Okay, I'll stop. Not that funny. But hey, he rapped. Robo Knight rapped. That's what made him important. He's a rapper.
I had a lot of questions about human emotion. They were vexing me, hexing me like some sorcerer's potion. So I followed the advice of my good friend Noah. And to the city library this robot did go. Robo Knight, word. Were those not fresh rhymes?
Super Megaforce Silver. Orion was a survivor from the planet Andresia. He found the Silver Ranger and came to Earth seeking revenge, but eventually learned to fight for justice alongside a Super Megaforce team. With the ability to harness the powers of all the previous 6 Rangers, Orion plays a key role in the team's final battles against the Armada, and would also try to find his way into loving Earth. Although Robo Knight was gone, Orion was a much more enjoyable character. He doesn't rap, sadly though. He had a clothing montage instead. Much better in my opinion. He also had the Q-Rex drill, which the Zord itself is a reference to 3 past 6 Rangers. MMPR Green with its Dino mode, a callback to the Dragon Zord, Drill mode being a reference to Time Force, and its Megazord mode being a reference to Dino Thunder White and its Megazord looks. His tragic story as a lone survivor of the planet is quite sad, and his backstory flashback shows that sadness, but his raw emotional motivation and team-based heroism is what makes him special and deserving of becoming a 6 Ranger, getting the co-sign by all the 6 Rangers of the past, as well as obtaining his own Battleizer mode, Super Mega Gold mode, a sick mode and truly legendary for the 6 Ranger history books. He's sympathetic, relatable, and bridges cosmic elements with an earthbound human feeling. Dino Charge Gold. Ivan, or his government name Sir Ivan of Xandar, was a knight who bonded with the Gold Energem during a battle centuries ago, and was trapped inside the body of villain Fury. Tyler, being the Red Ranger who has daddy issues, really thought it was his dad. Boo-hoo, am I right? Once freed, Ivan joined the Dino Charge team as the Gold Ranger, bringing him his knightly sense of armor with his gold Terra Saber, as well as his wrist morpher which can blast up 2, and of course, getting the Terrazord and its own Megazord combos. Ivan would help lead the team with his chivalrous and medieval background, which did set him apart, similar to Coda as people from ancient times. But he would represent honor and bravery, making him of course a super fun character, especially when he would have to unite people from the town and become his own brave new team of knights. That was my favorite moment of Ivan ever. His knightly valor also resonated with the series' theme of ancient powers awakening in the modern world. And that is the Knight's Code of Honor. Ninja Steel Gold. Levi Westing is the alias of Aiden Romero, Brody's brother, a famous country musician for the last 10 years, who was sought out by the Ninja Nexus Prism to pull out the Gold Ninja Star, but he would quickly be kidnapped and have his memory of the childhood that he had with his brother removed and moved into the identity of a robot, who would try to trick the Ninja Steel Rangers, but this plan would only go on for so long. He joins the team as the Gold Ninja Steel Ranger after recovering his memories and discovering his connection to the Ninja Power Stars, with the Rockstorm guitar, a guitar sword weapon of course, and the Bull Rider Zord, equally as sick. Levi balanced his dual life as a public figure and a secret hero. His journey highlighted themes of family and identity, adding emotional resonance with the Ninja Steel team. I mean, of course, the Romero family song brings a tear to the eyes of everyone who views it. Beast Morphers Gold and Silver. Nate Silva, the young genius behind Grid Battle Force's Ranger tech, was there from the beginning, and eventually became the Gold Ranger when he accidentally combined his DNA with a Mantis, also with Steel, also managing to absorb human DNA from Nate and the Scarab Beetle DNA, unlocking unique abilities and stepping up as a hero on the front lines. Speaking of Steel, my favorite Power Ranger of all time. I love the guy. His government name, for those who are wondering, is Mr. Fantastic, Super Handsome, Strong as Steel, a truly legendary character who also brought strength and humor to the team. Nate and Steel wielded the Striker Morpher and piloted the Wrecker Zord and the Jet Zord, combining into becoming the Striker Megazord, which is cool to see just 2 Zords combining, symbolizing the connection between heart and tech and I guess family. Their journey as the Gold and Silver Rangers showcased an unbreakable brotherly bond, highlighting themes of family, loyalty, and the unconventional heroism found through intellect and courage. Finally, we get to our last 6 Ranger we're talking about, because you know, if we're going to talk about all the other 6 Rangers in the comics and other alternate universes, we're going to be here all day. It's Dino Fury Gold. Ion is a Ravkonian warrior and former teammate of Zato, being a part of the original Dino Fury team. He would return to Earth after a million years sleep thanks to the Ninja Nexus Prism, and he would assist the Dino Fury Rangers after sensing the re-emergence of the Spork's threat. This was a similar story to Andros and Zane, but on another level, as their relationship was explored quite deep, as they would search for the remains of their planet Ravkon, as well as try to fit in together to Earth's customs. He would morph with his Moza Blaster, and would use his Moza Razor Zord, which you guessed it, as a warrior mode. His time in the show brought new and emotional, funny moments, showing the importance of one's roots while embracing their new life. And when it comes to Cosmic Fury, Ion would become the Gold Cosmic Fury Ranger, getting a new suit while still rocking the blue and gold color aspect, standing him out on the team, but not as a 6th Ranger. Cosmic Fury has no 6th Ranger, making each member just naturally part of the core team, even if they got introduced at a later time. But wow, when you look back at it, the 6 Rangers are such a vital part of the Power Rangers team. Some were evil, some were tech geniuses, some were brothers, some were twins, some fished, some were robots, some rapped, some didn't. But they break the mold, stepping onto the team when it needs them most, often challenging the status quo and showing us that heroism can come in many forms, whether they're battling personal demons, learning to trust others, or simply discovering their own strength. These Rangers bring new energy and depth onto their respective teams. Their impact reaches beyond the storylines of the series, leaving a lasting influence on fans who see their own journeys of growth reflected onto these iconic characters. From the first 6 Rangers to the most recent, their legacies remind us that every hero has a story worth telling. And for all the 6 Rangers of the future, there's for sure a legacy to follow. And that is the legacy of the 6 Ranger. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Este, by the way. Follow me on Twitter, Dino. I'm also on Instagram, Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.